So as the name suggests, pair, so that means we need to have two here, and these are actually nothing but two transistors that we are talking about. Okay, there are some points I think that we should know. This is also called super beta transistor, and this is the same beta which we talked about before in common base configuration. Okay, so it's basically called a super beta transistor. Okay, so this is an important point. And then this is a compound transistor. I think this is also quite obvious, because if you are having a single transistor, it is a simple transistor, but if you are having a number of transistors, we basically call them as a compound transistor. Okay, so this is applicable everywhere. You have a simple magnifying glass, we call it as simple microscope. Okay, if you are having two glasses, two or more glasses, then we basically call it as a compound microscope. So similarly, a compound transistor and a simple transistor. Okay, here basically we have two bipolar junction transistors, and I think bipolar junction transistors is already known to you. We have already studied it in the beginning of transistors. Whatever transistors we were studying till now, PNP and NPN, all are bipolar junction transistors, right? Why bipolar? Because there are two kinds of charges, the electrons and the holes, which basically are responsible for the conduction mechanism. So we basically call them as bipolar junction transistor. So in your syllabus, we did have BJTs, okay, and BJT is something which you might have already also studied in your undergraduation, okay. And then it basically has got a very large current gain, and that is one of the major advantages of why we want to study Darlington pair, okay. Very large current gain, okay, and it was actually invented in the very famous Bell Labs, invented in Bell Labs, okay, if you remember, in the US, okay, by Sidney Darlington, and that's why the name, okay. And this was actually discovered in the year 1953, and it's basically said as an invention, okay. So it's a very important invention, because actually from that time onwards, the use of transistors in electronic circuits to actually have a better output result, okay, desired results at lesser consumption of power was actually getting achieved, okay, slowly, but it was happening at that time. So I think it's important that we know how it exactly looks like, okay, and some of the important parameters that we should know, okay. So let's just have a look into it, okay. So we basically have two transistors here, so I will just draw this Darlington pair. So in your exam I might ask you that draw a Darlington pair, okay. So again, this is important, so just let me just draw it first. So what happens in a typical classroom, when I draw, you also draw, so I am expecting that you are also drawing the same, okay. And if you remember, I told in one of the classes that I'm going to check if you have written all your notes. So I hope you're doing it, because one fine day I might just ask you for that. Okay. So I have this good tool of drawing everything in a single line. Okay. These straight lines kind of helpful here. So we are actually just looking into a common emitter kind of configuration. Okay. So please make sure that you understand this diagram. So this is your base, let's say, okay, and then this is one transistor, okay. So maybe I can just rub this part off. Oh, rubbed too much, okay. ज़्यादा बड़ा हो गया इरेजर, okay. Yeah, this is okay. Okay, so we have this, and let me just take it to be a NPN. Okay, so this is P, this is N, this is N. So NPN transistor. I'm just considering an NPN transistor here. So this is also an NPN transistor. Both of them are NPN here. Okay. So basically we'll have the similar kind of transistors, NPN, NPN. Okay. So this is your base, and let's mark this transistor as Q1, and let's mark this transistor as Q2. Okay. And this is the capacitor. Okay, capacitor N, and this is the emitter. So this is the emitter from the second stage transistor, okay. And let's just have a look into the current that flows here. So along this we basically have the base current. So I'll just write it down as IB1 because it's the base current for the first transistor, okay. And here we basically have the emitter current from here because this is an emitter here on this end. So I can just mark this as IE1, okay. And we will look into this and later on see that this is actually nothing but equal to IB2 because through the same wire we cannot have two different currents flowing, okay. So what we do is we say that the emitter current from the first circuit is equal to the base current of the second, okay. So this is the same one, and then this is nothing but the emitter current for the second transistor, okay. And then I think that's all that we need right now in this particular circuit diagram. So what happens is usually that when you consider a Darlington pair, okay, you're basically considering all of them together, okay. So what we have is a single base, and then we have got the transistor here, okay, and this is your emitter, and this is your collector, okay. So we will just take it to be this, okay. And this is something which we call as the Darlington pair. So I'll just write it down as QD. So if you just want to draw the circuit for Darlington pair transistor, this is the one, okay. There are more complicated circuits, but we are not just going into that, okay. We're just looking into the simple parts of this, okay. And then if we just want to measure the gain, okay, if we just want to find out what is the gain in this particular transistor, the gain we usually, let's write it down as beta D. The gain for the Darlington transistor is basically nothing but beta 1 into beta 2. So what we are going to do now is we are going to prove why beta D is equal to beta 1 into beta 2, okay. But before that, I think it's very clear to us that it's basically a multi-stage amplifier, and that is what we actually studied in the last lecture, okay. What is a multi-stage amplifier? And this is one of the multi-stage amplifier that we are going to look. But then this is only two transistors together, because at that particular point in 1953, this was actually quite interesting to study, okay. And this was what was actually done at that point of time, okay. So the next topic is to prove this beta D is equal to beta 1 into beta 2. So if you remember what is beta, okay, beta is equal to nothing but IC divided by IB, okay, the collector current divided by the base current, okay. This is something which you have already studied, okay. So we're just going to look into the proof, okay. So the proof I will just take out to be the input current. So you have to concentrate here now. Input current is IB1, okay. So we can just look into the circuit and understand that what is the input current, and the output current is IE2, okay. So these are the input and the output current. So if we actually want to measure the current gain now, so we're just going to go from the basics, and then we are going to see that it's the same formula. So the current gain is equal to output divided by input, okay, something which you already know. And then this is nothing but output is IE2. Please correct me if I'm doing any kind of mistake here, okay. I'm just writing it down. IB1, I think you can easily understand this. Let's mark this as number 1, okay. And then what we can say is that IE, which is the emitter current in general, is nothing but base current plus collector current. We have not included any beta here, so let's try to include beta. So what is IB? IB is something, IC. So this is IB plus IC. So if you remember IC, okay, if you remember this, beta is equal to IC by IB. We've already done it, so we're going in a sequence. So that means this can be written as beta IB. So we can write it down as beta plus 1 IB. We have done some numerical and we have seen that beta is much greater than 1. Alpha is between 0.9 and 0.99 if you remember, but beta is much greater than 1. So what we can say is that this particular term is nothing but equal to beta IB. Okay, so this is beta IB. Okay, so that means that what we can do is we can simply write it down as IE2, which is at the numerator of equation 1, as beta IB2. So if we have that, what we have now is equation 1, and equation 1 will imply the current gain. Let me just write it down as CG. IE2 is beta IB2 divided by IB1. Okay. But you see here, we have got IE1 and we have got IB2 in the same line. So we cannot have two different currents flowing across the same circuit. So that means IB2 is equal to nothing but IE1. Okay. So IB2 is equal to IE1. So what we can write it down here is beta IE1 divided by IB1. Okay, and then what is IE1 by IB1? IE1 by IB1 is actually nothing but the voltage gain of the first circuit, right? So what we can do now here is that since I've written it here as IE2, that means the emitter current for the second circuit, we can put it here as beta 2 and not just beta. Beta is gain for the entire circuit, we can say. So I can just put it beta 2 here. I will put a beta 2 here. Okay, so now what we have is this, that just got a bit hazy here. So what happens here is that current gain is beta 2 into now IE1 divided by IB1, right? So IE1 can be written as beta 1 into IB1 divided by IB1. Okay, so because we have here beta 1 IB1 as IE1, we also get it from this particular relation. Okay, so we already have written that IE is beta into IB, so that means IE1 is equal to, or maybe we can just write it down here, IE1 is equal to beta 1 into IB1. So we can just replace it here, and then we see that we are just having beta 1 and beta 2. So you can simply write it down as beta 1 into beta 2. So proved. Okay. So this is basically why the current gain is a multiplication of the two factors. Okay, so you have to just take care of this, how exactly you derive it. Okay, so whenever I ask you a question on Darlington pair, maybe you have to just write down what is a Darlington pair. So you can say it is basically a super beta transistor. So I hope you understand why it is called super beta now, because we have the gain to be multiplication of the two beta factors. So one beta is 100, let's say 90, one beta is 80, you're getting 19 to 80. So if you are having a lot of amplification, right? So it basically has a very large current gain. Okay, so whenever you are explaining, you can explain this large current gain, basically called a super beta transistor. It's a compound transistor because we have got two transistors coupled together, and then we have two bipolar junction transistors coupled together, invented by in the Bell Labs by Sidney Darlington. Okay, and then you can draw the circuit, and then you can actually, the question might be, the tail to the question might be, prove that the gain is beta 1 into beta 2, and you can easily prove it using this particular relation. Okay, so I think this is not difficult to understand. Okay, and I'm just doing it in short, but it can be a part of a descriptive question, maybe up to 5 marks. Okay, So I hope that all of you just practice it once so that you can do it easily. Emitter voltage, okay. So base emitter voltage. So whenever we are talking about this voltage of base and emitter, that means we are talking about a connection where some kind of potential needs to be overcome, okay. And how much is the potential barrier that the electron needs to overcome so that it can assist in the conduction mechanism depends on what material it has, okay. So let's say we have got two transistors, as we said yesterday. Let's say we have got transistor 1, and we usually denote it by Q1, okay. And let the base emitter voltage for this transistor be BE1, okay. And then we have got the second transistor, and we will call it as transistor 2, okay, and that's Q2. So this would be VBE2, okay. So if we basically have our Darlington pair, so therefore for Darlington pair, the total base emitter voltage. So if you remember yesterday, we can actually draw an equivalent circuit. We have just one transistor, and that transistor is represented as QD, okay. And that is nothing but the total voltage that we are talking about. This total voltage would be nothing but VBE1 plus VBE2. So please remember, the beta factor gets multiplied, not the voltage. The voltage will usually get added, right? Because they are more or less in a series connection. So what happens is, if VBE1 is equal to VBE2, when will this happen? If both the transistors are of the same material, okay, VBE2, then we can say that VBE, okay, is equal to 2 times VBE1, okay, or VBE2, whichever you want to write, okay. So let's say both the transistors are silicon, okay. If Q1 and Q2 are silicon, so if it is silicon, what we know is VBE1 is equal to VBE2, which is equal to 0.7 volts, okay. So this is the potential that basically the electron has to overcome, okay. So therefore what we can say is VBE is equal to 1.4 volts, okay. So similarly, if it is germanium, the value of VBE1 and VBE2 would be different. It will depend on what is the material. Based on this, the potential has to be overcome, okay. So if you are having two different kinds of material, if Q1 is, let's say, silicon, okay, let's say Q1 is made up of silicon, and Q2 is made up of a material, let's say germanium, okay. Then what happens is, this VBE will be an addition of the VBE1 and VBE2, and in this case both will be different, 0.7, and germanium approximately 0.3, so this would be 1 volt. So you can see this, that if we are actually using a Darlington pair, and if we have two different transistors or similar transistors even, the voltage barrier that the electron has to overcome is 2 times VBE. So that means that's double, okay. So you can actually consider this to be a disadvantage. This is a kind of disadvantage that we have in these kind of devices, okay. So please take care of this. So based on this, we can actually write a lot of points on Darlington pair, okay.